Yo, what's good, everybody? It is your boy Golden Falls, Golden What Ifs, whatever you want to call me, and I am back. This is part 2 of What If Deku Had a Demonic Quirk, and as always, if you guys enjoy, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, and leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. I hope you guys enjoy the series and enjoyed the video, or enjoy the video. Now, with all that said, I don't want to waste much more of your time, and I want to get right into it. So, let's get it. Izuku Midoriya is watching closely as All Might and All For One are on their last gasps, as they're about to take this to the next level, and as they're about to basically go 1 for 1 here, and it seems as if someone is gonna come out on top. Someone is gonna be the victor, but they don't know just yet who it's going to be. And this would lead to All Might utilizing his United States of Smash, and as he does, he would send All For One flying toward the ground, and he would be borderline unconscious. But as this happens, Izuku would tell the other villains or the other people around him that he must now leave. He goes over, he heads over to the location, and he begins speaking to the both of them, asking them if this right here was worth it. If they believed, or if he believed, that all this was worth it. In which Izuku is telling them all that they're beating themselves here. That they don't understand that there's a bigger fish at play. There's a bigger threat here, and he's standing right in front of them. In which All Might tells Izuku that he doesn't have to do this. He's a good kid. He doesn't have to go through with this, but immediately this disembodied voice would tell him, Izuku's not here. He's been gone for a very long time, but don't worry. Soon you will see him, but that soon is not right now. Izuku would pick up All For One, and he would begin to take his own powers. And it seems as if Izuku is channeling this otherworldly power and absorbing it into himself. And as he does this, he would tell All Might that this right here is where things will end. This right here is just one step closer to domination and one step closer to getting what he wants. And that is true freedom. All Might would go and try to attack Izuku. He would try to fight him. He would try to do something, but Izuku would easily defend against him. And he would tell All Might that this isn't where he will die. This isn't where he will pass. This isn't where he will fall. He will fall eventually. He will die eventually. But right now, no, that's not the time. And he would eventually just leave the lifeless body of All For One and tell All Might that they're going to have to make a choice pretty soon. And that choice is to side, well, you know, on the side of humanity or side with him. He would disappear and everybody would be in shock as the lifeless body of All For One would lay still and nothing would occur. And Izuku would be just out gathering more and more resources and more forces as everybody in the hero community is scrambling. Every single person, every hero in Japan is scrambling. And Izuku, well, he wants to have a word with one other villain, someone that he believes can, you know, be very, very useful here, and that is Overhaul. But that little meeting would go haywire pretty quickly, and they would try to attack Izuku. They would try to attack Izuku, Toga, Dabi, Splinter, and Twice, and they would be overwhelmed. Overhaul would be overwhelmed. Everybody there would be overwhelmed very quickly, and the powers that they've been granted and the strength that they hold would be way too much for Overhaul and his kind of group to even handle. Nothing they could do can really touch Izuku and the people that surround him, and nobody can really even handle what's going on. They're in shock, though. They're in complete and utter shock, thinking, how is he this strong? How? It doesn't make any sense at all. It makes literally zero sense that he's able to do what he's doing. It makes no sense that he's able to actually uphold what he's upholding. The strength that he holds is otherworldly. The strength that he holds makes no sense. And they don't understand, but soon many people, even on the side of Overhaul, would begin saying that, no, they want to swap sides. They're not going to work with Overhaul if the difference in strength is so large. The difference between the two is so massive. They're not going to stay with somebody who can't protect them, who can't really lead them in the right direction. They'd rather stand by somebody who is all powerful, stand by somebody who can grant them even more power. In which Izuku, well, he hears this and he shuts this down. He says that he doesn't want anybody that is willing to just flip sides so easily to join him. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. Someone who is so unloyal, I mean, why would he ever want them here with him? He would then send Dabi to basically cleanse every single person there, destroying and lighting on fire everybody besides a couple people that still stood beside Overhaul. And Izuku would tell Overhaul and tell them that they have a simple choice to just alliance themselves with him. That's it. You don't gotta stand by him. You don't have to walk the same path. You just have to stay out of my way. In which Overhaul would briefly agree to this, and even Izuku would believe that the fear that he's been showing and the fear that is over, like, you know, the entirety of Overhaul, what he's feeling is enough to make him, you know, obey. But he's not sure just in fully. But Izuku would eventually have some other things that need to be dealt with, and that includes heading off, and also going back to that same city that refused to join him in the first place. And when he arrives, he sees that a lot of them are suffering. They're being destroyed from the inside out, and eventually the words of Izuku and the curse that was placed on this place and this area, well, it makes everybody change their mind, and Redestro would lose control. And when he gets there, when Izuku would arrive, Redestro would be gone, would be dead, and everybody would be surging, wanting to get out of this place. And Izuku would lift the curse, and he would allow them to grant access into his own army, into his own personal brigade. And Izuku allows them to stay loyal to him, and he grants them powers beyond their imagination. And Izuku, for days on end, would continue gathering this army, continue gathering these forces, and eventually he would gather so much that would include even a giant monstrous creature by the name of Gigantomachia. Gigantomachia was someone who was loyal to All For One, but with everything regarding All For One and everything actually involving Izuku absorbed everything involving All For One, allowing him to actually gain full control and full loyalty of Gigantomachia himself. And in doing so, in actually granting himself and getting the control that he needed and the control that he wanted, Izuku Midoriya now has an army that will siege upon Japan, and that eventually siege upon every single person that is alive, and every person on Earth. Izuku would surge this army through the streets of Japan, and he would shut down hero agency after hero agency, telling them all to fall in line, or they will be basically changed for the rest of their lives. And this would lead to one of the more strength-based and more, one of the stronger heroes to jump in and try to fight, try to really take down this person, or take down Izuku. And it seems as if this is Mirako. Mirako would jump into the fray, would fight, and would honestly clash at insane amounts with Izuku. But soon Izuku would show the level that he's at and show that there is no touching him at this moment. And he would shut down this assault, shutting down everything that is ensuing. But as this opening would occur, a bullet would ring out that would slam into the side of Izuku, and Izuku would look over, and he would pull the bullet out, and he would see that it was some of Overhaul's cronies, and it seems as if they tried to take his quirk away. Izuku would smash it into dust and tell them that little trick, that will never work, because what he is beyond any quirk. What he is beyond anything you could imagine, and he's waiting for something very, very specific. And as Izuku takes over, destroying every hero that lays in his wake, and even Overhaul being taken down for good, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. This demonic creature is now loose and continues to push forward, but there's someone, a savior, in fact, somebody who believes that they can save this country, somebody by the name, or hero name of Star and Stripe. And she's arriving on different jets that are flying through the sky, and eventually her arrival could be heard all around. Many people in the United States would say that they shouldn't do this, that this is leaving the US undefended, but of course it seems like they don't have a choice, and it seems as if they're pushing forward this idea that they need this help. And Star and Stripe would arrive, but it seems like Izuku, or the demonic creature, is not afraid of this specifically. But all of these villains, everybody that stands beside him, would clash, would fight, and would basically take the fight to the next level. And everybody would clash, would brawl, and it seems like Star and Stripe might actually have a little bit of an upper hand on Izuku. And it seems as if Star and Stripe actually gives them a place to stand, a place to stop this. And eventually she would give an order, a world order. And as she does so, and as she does this, she tells that of Izuku Midoriya to basically apprehend this demonic creature. And as she does this, as she basically tells Izuku Midoriya to be gone for good, that's exactly what happens. His body crumbling and his body breaking, and she apologizes. She's sorry about what she must do. But then she realizes something. What she was doing, what she did, and what's going on. The body of Izuku Midoriya is the only thing that was keeping this creature, this monster, from wreaking havoc on a totally different level. At least that's a thought that goes through her mind. Because when the dust settles and Izuku Midoriya is gone, nothing else is there. And initially, they believe that it's over, at least for that person. They have to fight these other people that believe that Izuku Midoriya is now gone. Toga, Dabi, Twice, and Splinter all fighting, or Spinner, excuse me, all fighting to basically uphold the name of Izuku Midoriya. Everybody from the liberation kind of army from that same city or town, the ones that followed Redestro, seemingly still fighting to hold the word of Izuku Midoriya. But soon, as the fight would settle, as everybody would calm, and as things would start slowing down, and as the villains would have to retreat, everything would go okay for a day, maybe 2, and maybe even 3. But eventually something had to break, and eventually something had to change, because Izuku Midoriya may be gone, but the creature that was within is not. And the skies would grow dark, and soon the creature would arrive as a portal would open up, and he would walk out, saying that the body of Izuku Midoriya is what got him here, but the body of Izuku Midoriya is also what captured him, what kept him here, and no longer allowed him to push the boundaries of what was happening, no longer allowed him to push the boundaries of what was going to occur. The skies would grow dark, and the villains would come out, and everybody that sided and stood with Izuku Midoriya, or at least the person of Izuku Midoriya, would now stand next to this creature once again. Yes, taking the form of a shadowy or dark, like demonic version of Izuku Midoriya, but this isn't the body of the Izuku we once knew. The happy-go-lucky, the kid that aspired to be a hero. No, this is not him anymore. This is the end of hero society. and Izuku, or whatever this creature is now, would start breaking, burning, and destroying every little piece. Japan, then it went to the US, and then it soon would grow all around the world. And even Star and Stripe and many others, they wouldn't have a choice. They wouldn't stand a chance because there is no name of this creature. Izuku Midoriya is no more, and they let loose exactly what they feared the most. They broke open Pandora's box, and they had no idea that it was going to happen. And soon, this creature that was once Izuku Midoriya would bring darkness and wreak havoc to the entirety of the world of My Hero Academia, changing the landscape forever. And finally, he was ready and willing to allow his own vision of this world. And as years would go on, as hundreds of years would go on, that vision would soon be realized, and this world would no longer be the one we once knew, filled and full of creatures among them all, some terrifying, some not so much, some that would only be there to truly serve Izuku Midoriya, or whatever this creature now goes by. And soon, this life that they once knew would be a distant past and a distant memory, with many humans that would try to survive, many humans that would try to live in the shadows and hide and do this and that. They would try. They would. But nothing they would do or could do would stop this eventual arrival of the darkness and the eventual arrival of everything crumbling to the ground. At least the things that they once knew, and at least the things that they once enjoyed and loved. And soon the world would be over, and this creature that once inhabited a young kid, smiley and happy kid, would now be the reason the world changed forever. But with all that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this series. And if you guys did, please show some love. Leave a like, leave a sub, leave a comment down below. All that good stuff. I know this is a little bit shorter of a video and a shorter what if in general, but I hope you guys still enjoyed the video. And yeah, with all that said, I hope you guys have an amazing day. Later.